I want you to picture this. A candlelit hall, string quartet softly playing, flowers draped like clouds over an archway. Everyone thinks they're about to witness a picture-perfect wedding. But behind my veil, my hands were shaking. Not from excitement, from dread. Because in that room, among the smiles and champagne glasses, sat the one person who had spent 3 years trying to break me down. My soon-to-be mother-in-law. If you think weddings are always fairy tales, keep watching. What happened next still gives me chills. When I met Daniel, I was a single mom to a little boy named Ethan. He was 5, funny and shy, with a mop of brown hair that stuck up no matter how I brushed it. Daniel didn't flinch. He showed up with tiny Lego sets for Ethan, read him bedtime stories, and made me believe love could be safe again. But his mother, Patricia, never accepted me. She didn't scream or slam doors. She whispered. She commented. She made it clear that in her eyes, I wasn't a bride, I was a burden. He deserves someone free, she once murmured over dinner, thinking I couldn't hear. Not tied down with someone else's child. Ethan heard. He asked me that night, "Why does Grandma hate us?" I told him, "Some people take time." Inside, I wasn't sure she ever would. Fast forward 3 years. Daniel proposed under a winter sky, and I said yes through tears of joy. But as we planned our wedding, Patricia's disapproval hovered like a storm cloud. She offered to pay for flowers, but added, "At least make it tasteful." She insisted on seating charts, menus, the kind of wine she liked. Outwardly polite, but every email carried a little sting. Daniel told me to ignore it. I tried. The ceremony itself started like a dream. Ethan walked down the aisle with the rings, cheeks flushed with pride. Guests whispered how adorable he was. When I reached Daniel at the altar, the world faded. For a moment, nothing existed but us. But if you've ever felt the hairs on the back of your neck rise, you know what I felt walking into the reception. Patricia was waiting, smiling for cameras, but her eyes cold as steel. Dinner began. Glasses clinked, people laughed. Daniel squeezed my hand and whispered, "She won't ruin this." I wanted to believe him. Then Patricia stood up. "I'd like to give a toast," she said. Her voice was sugar. The microphone squealed. "My son has always been destined for great things," she began, looking at Daniel, then at me. "And today he's taken a brave step, marrying someone with responsibilities. Not everyone could handle such baggage." The word landed like a punch. Some guests chuckled awkwardly, others stared at their plates. Patricia went on. "Perhaps love can overcome even that. We'll see." My throat tightened. I glanced at Ethan, his fork hovered over his plate, eyes wide. Daniel's jaw clenched. "Mom," he started, but she held up a hand. "I'm just being honest." The hall went still. You could hear a fork drop. My palms were sweaty. Years of biting my tongue swirled up into one hot rush of shame. And then, before I could move, Ethan slid off his chair. He was 8 now, taller, but still small next to the tables of adults. He walked straight to the stage, his bow tie crooked, his sneakers peeking out under his suit pants. "Sweetheart, sit down," Patricia said lightly. "This is for adults." But Ethan kept walking. Daniel half rose, but I caught his sleeve. Something in my son's posture, a little soldier in a too-big jacket, told me to let him go. He reached the microphone, hands trembling but voice steady. "Excuse me," he said. "I need to say something." People shifted. Phones came out. Patricia blinked. "My mom," Ethan said, pausing to swallow, "is not baggage." The air cracked. She takes care of me. She's why I'm okay. She makes pancakes when I have bad dreams. She makes me believe in good people, and she makes Daniel smile all the time. You think she's baggage, but she's actually the best person I know. And I'm not baggage either. I'm your grandson. You're supposed to be happy for us. He sniffed, wiped his nose with his sleeve. It wasn't a polished speech. He stumbled on words, his L sounds still soft, but it was raw, real. The room held its breath. Daniel walked up, knelt beside him, took the mic. "He's right," Daniel said, voice shaking. "Mom, I've let you say cruel things because I kept hoping you'd change. But this stops now. Today is about love. If you can't respect my wife and my son, you don't belong in our lives." Gasps. Someone clapped. Someone else whispered, "Wow." Patricia's hand went to her mouth. For a second, she looked older, smaller. She lowered herself back into her seat. Her wine glass trembled. She stared at Ethan as if seeing him for the first time. Daniel hugged Ethan. "I'm proud of you," he whispered. Then he reached for me, pulling me into the hug. Applause rose, tentative, then louder, then full-throated. Guests stood. Some wiped tears. The violinist quietly began to play again. I pressed my face into Ethan's hair. My boy had defended us. No, he had changed the room. The evening shifted after that. People came up to us with hugs, murmuring, "That was incredible. You're raising a brave kid." Daniel held my hand like he'd never let go. Ethan danced with me under fairy lights, shoes scuffing the floor, bow tie hanging loose. "You okay, Mummy?" "Better than okay," I whispered back. Later, as we cut the cake, Patricia approached. She looked at Ethan, then at me. Her eyes glistened. "I was wrong," she said softly. "I don't know how to be a good grandmother, but I want to try." It wasn't a full apology, but it was a start. I nodded. Ethan smiled shyly. "We can start with hugs," he said. Patricia let out a shaky laugh and opened her arms. Ethan stepped in. Something inside me loosened. That night, as Daniel and I left the reception, Ethan asleep in my arms, I realized something. My son had not just protected me, he had rewritten the story. This day wasn't about a bitter mother-in-law anymore. It was about courage, about an 8-year-old's fierce love, about the power of truth spoken plainly. It was about family, the messy, painful, beautiful kind you build with open hands. And that's why I'm telling you this now. Because maybe you're out there doubting your worth because someone calls you baggage or makes you feel small. Maybe you're a single parent, wondering if love can truly find you again. It can. And when it does, your love and your children's love will be stronger than any whisper of judgment. Don't hide. Don't shrink. You are not baggage. You are someone's everything. If you felt this, don't scroll away. Share it. Someone out there needs to hear that their worth isn't defined by another person's bitterness. Someone might need to be reminded that even an 8-year-old can teach adults what real love looks like. And if you've ever been underestimated, let Ethan's voice echo in your mind. She's not baggage. She's everything. Subscribe for more true stories like this, because sometimes the smallest voices hold the biggest truths.